Oh, okay. Here we are.
Here we are. So we are in the ECX household.
I'm Wyatt Brown.
I'm Michael Pytel. Pretty much we're starting up this podcast because it's super important that we get information and education out to all you guys. That's probably the biggest thing lacking in the industry right now is probably just literally just education.
Yeah, I could agree. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background. We're from the ECX scooter shop, if you don't know yet. We've both been in the industry for 10 plus years, even more. And we both have a strong passion for scooters that can't be denied. So that's why we think it's just right to sit down, talk to you guys, talk with each other, share our experiences and our knowledge that we've gained over the last however many years. And hopefully we can grow as a sport together and only move up from here.
Well said, Wyatt.
Sick.
So like Wyatt said, we're from the ECX scooter shop. I've owned the ECX scooter shop for a little over 10 years now. And for longer than that, I've been a scooter rider since I was a kid. And once I picked it up, never put it back down. It's not even a question that ever gets asked. So a couple of the things on the itinerary for us to discuss during this first podcast. I feel like we should talk a little bit about how frequently we're going to be doing this.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be doing the podcast every week.
Once a week.
At least once a week, that is. So hopefully we made the podcast mobile so we can take it on trips and stuff like that. So when we're traveling the country or going to different comps or anything like that, we can interview pros, people who run things behind the scene, and much, much more. Just trying to give you guys a little bit of insight behind what's going on in scootering, I guess, that you don't see every day.
Yeah, and speaking about what's going on in scootering and, especially speaking about being mobile, since the start of 2023, as far as over here at the shop, big change for us was we're no longer open on Sundays. And instead of being in the store all day on Sundays, we now do mobile Sundays where we load up our ECX scooter team bus and we either go to our local skate park or we travel around to skate parks around the area and bring the community together. And part of this podcast is we're going to be able to, interview and meet out some of you guys, like Wyatt was saying.
Yeah, another cool thing is that we have the ECX bus that Pytel got for us a couple years ago. So we take that thing pretty much everywhere we can. And that we even have a setup on there to where we can do the podcast. So like, I know we're doing a few trips this summer. Don't be surprised if we pull up on you and we're asking to speak because the community's got to know what's going on. And
speaking of that, we're always looking for parks to shred, communities to ride with, and, people to hang out with. So
yeah, you got any recommendations of anywhere we should go or anything like that? Make sure to drop them below.
So, one of the biggest things that I'm hoping that we can talk about during this podcast is going to be a lot of the very fixable issues in our industry. Because there's things out there in the industry that don't need to exist. The confusion around parts, the incompatibility of products. These are all things that if we, as a community, as a sport altogether, riders, industry, people running the businesses, basically, all need to come together.
So to put it quite frankly, what Pytel is trying to say is that there needs to be a change in scootering, and we're not necessarily trying to make that change ourselves, but we're trying to help with it, and we need other scooter riders to help if they want to make a change.
Yeah.
Basically, our sport, our community, our hobby, whatever you want to call it, isn't going to make it to the next level until we all take that extra step and put in the initiative to get to where we want to be.
Yeah. And on those lines, I'd say it's a sport without question. Some people just ride here and there on the weekends, and to them it might be a hobby, but scootering as a whole, that's not even a question. Yeah, anytime I think about scootering, one thing that I feel like a lot of riders don't always think about is how young the sport is and how young this industry is. A lot of people jump into scootering, they see all these contests, all these events going on, all these people riding and all these tricks on Instagram, and they just assume that it's established, and then they go and they try and buy their first parts, and then they're like, whoa, why isn't this working with that? And the reason for that is just our industry is young. We haven't, as an industry or as a sport, like wheels, for example, we haven't even come together on a single consensus on what size wheels we should use on our scooters. And I think there's always going to be a variation to an extent, but right now, there's literally just, it's wild, wild west. It's chaotic in the most fun and awesome way. I don't even mean that in a bad way. I mean it in that we're in our infancy, and these are the toddler years of the sport. It's been phenomenal to get to watch the industry develop as well as watch the sport turn into what it is.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, Pytel. Our sport is still super young, and that's the reason why I think we started this podcast kind of, is to try to mature our sport and take it to that next level to where we're all going to be, able to make a living off this industry, hopefully one day. I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to be able to get paid to work in scooters and be able to pay professional scooter riders to compete and advertise our sport to the world.
As a business owner in the scooter industry, it's been eye-opening, because as a kid, you just look up and you're like, oh, I want to be a pro scooter rider. And you're concerned with, I just want to ride my scooter and I need to get paid for it. And that, being a pro scooter rider, I mean, we'll have people on this podcast that'll shine some extra light, even more information than what I have. Pretty much any adult in this sport can talk to you a little bit about the professional side of it. And because of where our industry is at, that part of the industry isn't as developed. And yet that is what everybody aspires. Nobody that rides a scooter goes, I want to pack boxes, I want to make phone calls. But like, that's part of the industry. That's, somebody is packing orders. Somebody is behind the scenes making sure that a website inventory is up to date, making sure that, orders are going out on time.
That's what I think we can shine light on with this podcast, is a lot of the people watching this probably don't see that side ever, and they don't really understand what all goes behind running a scooter company or a business in scootering. And a lot of people think it's just, you ride your best, you post the best Insta clips, you get paid, you're a pro, boom. But like, I've been on both sides of it now. I've been that pro trying to make that check, and now I'm on the other side packing those boxes, sending out orders to people.
Oh yeah. An important part of having a goal, whether it's in scootering or just life in general, it has to be a somewhat obtainable goal. I mean, it's good to reach for your dreams and all, but an obtainable goal is, I want to work in the scooter industry. Mm-hmm. A harder to obtain goal is, I want to be a pro scooter rider. Yeah. And what happens is, almost everybody sets out the goal of, I want to be a pro scooter rider. And if you're not the top rider in your area or at the contest or this or that, if you're not the top guy on Instagram, very few riders are going to be those top level paid athletes right now. But even in the future, when the industry is more developed, it's still not going to just be like, oh, I ride a scooter so I can become a pro. Like, that is something of the past. That's something that when scootering was new, I mean, if you were able to double backflip 10 years ago, that was a big deal. And not taking anything away from the people. I mean, a double backflip is still a big deal. But as far as like shining online, you have to do more than just land some good tricks. You can't just be good at riding your scooter.
Yeah, you have to hold a presence.
I mean, being a pro scooter rider is, in no short term of the words, very much so. You are an entrepreneur. You are running your own business. That business, your marketing and your product is yourself when you're a pro rider. But a lot of people disconnect the fact that they are a product.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't want to be. I mean, I'm grateful that I don't have to be a product to run my business, but I do use myself, in a positive way for marketing. One part of this podcast is, also just sharing our general views and stuff. And I know a lot of people have mixed emotions and feelings about like, oh, I want to get lots of views on Instagram or lots of views on my YouTube. And a lot of people that are top level athletes might have the mentality of, oh, well, I don't care about views. But if you're riding a scooter, if you're an artist, I mean, those views are how many people see your art and see your passion and see how much work you put in. And it's not, oh, I'm doing this work and I'm doing this riding because I want it to be seen. No, we all ride for ourselves. Yeah. But you can't deny that it feels good to have somebody see your art. I mean, that's part of expressing ourselves, is expressing yourself, which is not a solo thing.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the marketing thing, that's a thing we've been working on a lot at the shop with each other, is how do we market the shop? How do we market our riders? How do we market scootering as a whole?
Yeah.
And the biggest thing we've touched on is, I think Pytel was about to say it, is TikTok. And a lot of people are against TikTok. And I think that needs to change if we want to move together as a whole, because I think it's going to be a great, great ally for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely as far as like a human being goes, I definitely have not always been on top of social media and this and that. I mean, I think I made my first MySpace when everybody got off of it. I've always been a little bit behind, and TikTok, I feel like for once I'm like ahead of the ball on, and we're doing pretty well on there. I mean, to my knowledge, we are the largest active scooter store in the United States on TikTok.
Which is a pretty big accomplishment. I mean,
yeah.
we don't have a crazy following on there, but we've built up a few thousand in these last couple weeks that I think are going to help take us to the next level. And that's why we were trying to share this info with you guys so everybody else can grow with us, because we don't want to just grow as a whole. I mean, of course, it'd be nice to see ECX at the top and we're making a bunch of money and stuff like that. Who wouldn't love that? Yeah. But we want to see scootering grow. We want to see the whole community rise up, because we want this. It's been around for longer than 20 years, and we want it to stick around for another 20 years, another 40 years. We don't want it to go away. We are trying to build a foundation for something that's going to last for generations.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. One of the things that I face pretty much like on the day-to-day as one of the prominent issues in our industry is I am one of the only physical walk-in scooter stores pretty much anywhere around. And half my customers, for better or worse, and I love the fact that people do this, but I, to an extent, almost feel bad that they have to. But probably over half my customers have to drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours plus to come into the shop because of the services that we offer, because we're the only physical place that specializes in scooter product. I mean, the only other places around here to buy stuff are skate and bike shops, which is good when they do that. But I mean, that's like me selling a bike. I might be able to put it together and send you out the door and make that sale, but I can't tell you anything about that sport. I can't tell you anything about what it feels like to land a BMX trick. You know, there's something special about walking into a scooter store and having somebody that isn't just selling you a product, somebody that's giving you information, somebody that is genuinely trying to push you in the right direction for your riding.
Not somebody who is a scooter rider.
Yeah. And not just trying to push somebody in where they're going to make the biggest profit or what they haven't sold in a while and they need to get out the door. Like if somebody walks in and they're uneducated, I get really offended when they are met with more bad information or not information when they're seeking it. It is bittersweet because it definitely has led to ECX not being the biggest shop, but I just don't believe in spreading just marketing in a sense to sell scooter product. And that's the biggest reason why there's so much misinformation in the sport right now is all the information on websites, all the information on YouTube, all of that is pushed to make a sale. And obviously, I mean, here, you know, we're trying to make some more sales too. There's no secret around that. We're hoping that people watch the podcast, see who we are, go, wow, those guys are doing some good stuff. They're scooter riders. There's no secret in that. And we take no shame in that. This is also marketing. But there's a difference between pushing false information as marketing and pushing genuine information as marketing. And like the division in the sport right now, the whole like street versus park thing, that's been the past few years has dominoed down and gotten worse and worse to where I've literally had riders come up to me at the skate park and they're genuinely confused being like, I thought you couldn't ride T-bars at the skate park. And to me, I'm just confused. I'm like, I've ridden T-bars, Y-bars, I've ridden just whatever I want to ride. And I understand there's a difference between that and I understand the style differences, but at the end of the day, if you want to ride T-bars on a stair set or in the half pipe, you should be able to do almost all your tricks no matter what you're on. And then you can have your personal preference affect what you actually do ride. But I don't know. I mean, I've had people say they want to ride T-bars so they can grab the bar on the inside and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, you know this about me. You know, you guys might not, but I'm a big fan of put your hands on your grips or, you know.
Or you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is for some stuff, it might be a little bit debatable, but like overall, I'm just a big fan of like kind of similar to where like if your foot isn't on the deck,
not a land.
It's not a land. And if your hand isn't on your grip,
not a land.
It's not a land. I mean, to me, it's simple.
Yeah, I just want to go back to what you said and touch on something. I just think it is underrated how truly special it is to be able to walk into a scooter shop and have a professional like you, both riding wise and industry wise, be able to help the customer and build exactly what they're looking for. Yeah. Or sometimes they come in and they don't even know what they're looking for, but you're there to guide them and be like, hey, this won't work with this won't work with this, or like some kid walks in, I want 30 tall bars. No, you don't. This is what's going to be best for you because I know, because I'm a scooter rider.
Yeah.
And I think that connection is very overlooked in the scene, and I think we need a lot more of it. And that's why we push the hashtag ride our own, shop ride our own so hard.
It matters.
Yeah, it's very important. And there's a lot of people in scootering that can do a lot of good things that aren't scooter riders, I can admit. But from what I've seen and from our experiences, most of the time a company falls or a business fails in scootering, it's because they didn't know what they were doing, because they're not scooter riders and they don't know how to market to scooter riders because they were never in the community. You can't just get a bunch of money and hop into a scene and think you're going to overtake it. That'll last. It'll work, but that'll last for a couple years. And then you're back at the bottom wondering what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that unfortunately in scootering, there's the mass and the core. And the mass of riders out there, there's a high turnover rate to where they're going to be in this sport for 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's been, again, for better or worse, I mean, the chaos of this industry has been amazing to witness, in that companies have come and gone. Companies have completely changed their marketing. I mean, this is like one of the more prominent examples of it, but like
Mad Gear.
Oh yeah, them too. I always, whenever I think about this, I always think about Lucky, because when Lucky was out, like in my mind, that was
Street
like,
Dogs.
yeah, like Lil Jon, like you didn't ride a Lucky if you wanted a lightweight small scooter. And now,
back when they made the Evo and stuff like that.
Or even like their first, the CNC'd out deck on the bottom.
Yeah. SMX forks. But yeah, no, they have definitely shifted towards the park scene nowadays. Yeah. And I wouldn't even say park, I'd say the younger crowd too.
That kind of shows in their marketing. And that's one thing with ECX that we've always done, is we don't cater to kids. We understand that, most people start riding when you're a child, but because I'm a scooter rider, I've always understood and marketed along the lines of, this is a sport. You can start when you're young, but it is not exclusive to youth. And that's the one thing that really bothers me when I see shops strictly market to kids, or strictly like aim products, aim events, aim all of that only to kids. And it's like, we're never going to get the adult scene if you're not helping and catering the adult scene. And that's what the Mobile Sundays have been about. That's what ECX has always done. That's what our events always push for, is that the youth is important and deserve a spotlight, but so do the adults.
Yeah. And speaking of adult scooter riders, I think we're going to get one in here to shine some of his insight and share his opinion on what he thinks of the current state of our community and scene. With that being said, I'm going to go grab Davin real quick. He's one of our team riders. He lives in this house with me. He'll be on this podcast occasionally, along with a lot of other scooter riders that you might not know yet, but hopefully after this podcast you will. So let me go grab him, and Pytel, take it over.
Alrighty, hello.
Let's go. What's up, guys? I'm Davin. It's nice to meet all you. I've been riding for ECX for what, like 3 years now? 4 years now, probably?
I was going to say, I feel like it's been longer than that.
Has it been longer than that? Really? Yeah. Wow. Well, like, time flies by when you're having fun, I guess, right?
Well, and COVID kind of erased 2 years out of everybody's memory.
Yeah. COVID. I'm talking about COVID times. Scootering a lot during COVID times because nobody was doing anything.
But yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me in your beautiful home. How's it been living here?
The house is great. We got everybody rolling through all the time. We've already had a couple homies stay the night, and for all the Mobile Sundays, right?
Dude, this house has been. Thank you guys for letting everybody stay, because that's been super crucial.
I know, right? We love it. Seeing everybody. What we had Ryan here, Ryan Mendoza.
Oh yeah.
From where is he from? Mass, or is it Connecticut?
Connecticut.
He's from Connecticut. Yeah, it's all those same states.
Dude, he's only like 3.5 hours away. We're doing a Mobile Sunday.
Yes, we are. We got to get.
I don't know when, but we're coming your way.
We need to get up there. We had the remember the New Hampshire trip?
Oh yeah. I mean, which one?
Oh, where we camped in Evan's front yard for 5 days in the tent. One. Yeah. And I bathed in a lake for a week.
That's awesome.
That was crazy.
Yeah. See, I mean, that's the best part about scooter trips, is like those memories like that. I mean, scootering is the best part, but outside of scootering.
Exactly. That stuff I don't forget, though, obviously. Yeah. I mean, like, I think that was the first time I ever slept in a tent.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, balling from work.
Well, yeah, I mean, that trip was cool. I mean, to you guys watching the podcast, if you haven't seen it, it's up on the Shop ECX YouTube channel, but that was one of the first bus trips. So we loaded up the bus full of our team. We loaded up tents. Normally we'll do hotels or Airbnbs.
Yeah, we didn't do it this time.
Oh yeah, that one we tented. We camped out. That was pretty sick.
We tested the elements, and it was nice the entire time too. We were blessed that it didn't rain at all.
Yeah, well, it was summertime in New Hampshire, so luckily the nights were like the perfect temperature for like a sleeping bag.
Yeah,
cozy,
exactly.
The right temperature, like sweating during the day.
Exactly. Nah, New Hampshire was sick.
Yeah.
What else we got coming up? We got other trips coming up.
Oh, well, I mean, we have a mobile Sunday every Sunday since the start of 2023. The first time we're missing it is going to be this Easter. It's going to be the first Sunday we're not doing a mobile Sunday. And that's just because everybody wants to spend time with their families. People are religious, all that sort of stuff. I mean,
you got to expect that from
so
everybody.
It'll be a nice little break for us. But I mean, this month after Easter is going to be pretty jam-packed. We got the 25-year anniversary of the Newport Skate Park.
So there's a comp coming up too, right?
Yep, yeah. So I'm hosting a scooter contest the morning of the 25-year anniversary. Which is pretty cool too. We're gonna be releasing the corduroy,
the hats. That's right. Hat. I saw that. That's sick. I like the red one. Yeah. He was showing me the red one the other day.
Why it was? Sick. Yeah.
That's sick. And there's another comp, right?
There's 3 comps this year scheduled.
This should be a big comp this year. Not like the ones previous, but it should be a bigger one this year for sure.
Yeah. So the summer comp, we got a pretty. I'm not going to disclose it now, but we got a pretty large pro purse.
We'll find out, honestly.
Yeah. So you guys look forward to those posts, but we have something pretty amazing coming to the community. Yeah. We're going to be doing a contest that the East Coast scene hasn't seen in a long time. Honestly, maybe not ever.
Nah, not ever. There's definitely been bigger. I don't.
The purse, I don't know, like monetarily, I'd have to do some research. This is going to be one of the better ones for the East, for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's expecting that.
So that comp coming up in 2 weeks is going to be a jam. Are you competing or judging?
I don't know. I'll probably be judging like I always do, honestly. And what in the jams? Nah, I'm too old for that now. Come on.
Well, no. So this contest,
it's at Newport though. Newport's not my favorite part.
It's going to be jam style. So we went to the outlet events, and I really liked the format that they did.
I know what you're talking about. It was a good format.
There's a couple things that like I personally just need to do different to make it organized.
Well, it's funny enough. I judged that. Remember? Yeah. They asked me last second, and of course I said yes because I like it.
But the one thing that I'm definitely like politely gonna be taken from that was that they did 4 spots and then they gave out just cash for tricks at the spots. So we decided that was a really good format. And so for this April comp that we got coming, we're kind of doing that same format there. So thank you guys from Undialed for that because we had a ton of fun at your event, and doing events like that helps the industry.
I respect it for it. Because it was different. It wasn't like how usual comps are set up. You know, we had at the end of the comp when everybody talked about like how the tricks were. Yeah. And just how it was set up. It wasn't like how comps usually are. Because people usually, think something's rigged or you're favoring somebody else over somebody. No, it was like everybody agreed on it. And it wasn't just, it wasn't a written score. It was a verbal score.
Yeah,
right?
It was like somebody that was shutting down the spot. Exactly. They had the hype built up. It was always obvious who was taking it.
Oh, we almost got attacked.
Yeah, I mean, because that's why we get, a panel of judges is that it's not just one style. It's not just one guy with a favorite. It's not just somebody that really likes, seeing buttercups. Like, no, we do a variety of styles.
Every style has to be accounted for. You can't just, just want to see like buttercups, like you said, and like somebody has a grind. You're like, oh, that's not that impressive. Like, I want to see a buttercup. Like, you can't have that mentality when you're being a judge.
I personally, I love to see when somebody's being original, when they're being creative, when they're having fun too. Because like you see some guys out there
trying too hard. I see them trying too hard, and like if you're trying too hard, that just shows me that you're not doing it for you. You're trying to like show off to us. Like if you're trying a new trick for yourself and you haven't tried it before and you land it like and you're hype and you don't even realize you're about to get a prize or whatever. Like the people that hunt for the prizes. Like I don't really respect that.
No, as somebody that's ran a lot of contests, I know exactly what you're talking about. You can tell those people they do a trick. and they just
look at you. Exactly. They just look dead at you.
Like, gimme. And it's like, dude, that's how the mobile Sundays are.
I feel bad. I can't do that. Like, yeah, I gotta be fair. I can't just do it just because like you're giving me puppy dog eyes. I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's how the mobile Sundays are a lot. Is because those aren't like a structured event. They do become really difficult on who's getting prizes, this and that. And because some of the people that are there are just there to have a good time, and that's what I love to give something to, especially when they don't expect it. Somebody even somebody that will just be doing a tail whip, but if they're working for it, if it was difficult for them.
Exactly. Like I said, if somebody's never landed a tail whip before and they land a tail whip and they're like, oh, it was my first one, you know, like, hey, like.
Exactly.
And, you know, I don't think they'd be lying about it, obviously, especially if they were trying over and over to land it.
Yeah. I'm just as hyped to see somebody land their first tail whip as I am to see like a pro do like some world's first. I mean, because the feeling to the rider.
Well, you remember your first tail, but I remember my first tail.
Exactly. The feeling to the rider is the same. And that's what I love about scootering is it doesn't matter what trick you're doing. If you're working for it, if you're really determined to get it and it's difficult to you, then you get that feeling of satisfaction. And I mean, everybody knows what I'm talking about. I mean, this is a scooter rider podcast. We don't need to talk about what scooter riding feels like.
It hits that, but yeah, no, my first tail whip, like it was on a Ultra Pro with no grips and no brake, and I like broke my tailbone trying it.
Oh wow!
And like that feeling of satisfaction after getting it. I think I maybe tried it probably like 3 days in a row.
Yeah,
just like try steady hard, and I finally got it. And like, you know, that feeling is like, even still today, I still get that feeling.
No, we actually all hate riding our scooters.
Low key, because I hate getting hurt. Nothing's worse than getting hurt.
Well, Davin, thank you for being on this first podcast. I can't wait to have you back to get more insight, get a little bit more about you and about your riding, about your experience, because I know that you definitely have a lot to say. So sorry that this one's a little bit shorter. Just wanted to get you in and say hello.
I appreciate it. Obviously, you know, we're gonna do more of these, and we're gonna have more homies come through, and we'll always have, you know, you guys to keep it going. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm going to let Wyatt hop back on here.
Cool. Yeah. We're going to get Wyatt back on the mic. So again, Davin, thank you so much. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. That's Davin Horner.
Did you miss me yet? All right, guys. So, we just wanted to get Davin in here, get a different insight on scootering as a whole. And I think we just wanted to keep this one short and sweet. And I think we're going to wrap it up here. Pytel, if there's any last words you want to say or any last advice you want to give out, then now's the time.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching this first podcast. We just wanted to, get out there, say what we're going to be doing. Part of having Davin here was just kind of showing how we're going to be having guests pop in, give some extra insight beyond just me and Wyatt talking. So this podcast, I mean, really look forward to it.
Yeah, it may not look like much now, but this is just the first one, and we're going to be changing it up crazy from here on out. So I think you guys should get ready for this ride because it's going to be a wild one.
But yeah, so we got a lot of things planned for ECX in 2023. A lot of those things are already in motion. Some of those things are already happening, and some of those things are yet to come. So support right around.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a last shout out to all the boys out there doing podcasts right now. If you haven't checked them out, they're Undialed. We got 10-4. And I think there's a few others that I can't really remember off the top of my head right now, but those are the two main ones that stick out. Those are the homies, both of them. Go give them a follow. I'll put their names on the screen or something like that. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out other people who are doing the same thing we're trying to do because, like I said, we're trying to grow as a whole. And any way we can connect with other scooter riders and any way we can promote other scooter riders is a job well done to me. So
thanks for watching.
All right, guys, we're signing off. Thanks for tuning into the first ECX podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.